All right, there we go.
All right. Hi, guys. It is Tuesday, April 4th, right? Yeah. Sorry, my dates are all thrown off, starting the call off with a real bang. Welcome to our team call. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about how to kickstart your month. Claire and I thought this topic was timely with it being the beginning of April, kind of rolling into that second quarter of the year. Kicking off a few challenge groups and trying to lock in Success Club early. So we'll touch upon that. But wanted to start off with a few announcements. So Claire and I had our challenge group kick off yesterday, and so far it's been fantastic. I don't know if others of you running challenge groups. Loretta, do you have one?
Yeah, I do, with Christina. And then Julie's like popping in here and there, but yeah.
Awesome. So a couple of challenge groups going, and we'll have a free group at the end of the month that Meredith and who else is running the free group? Caroline? Yes, okay. Are running at the end of the month. So more to come on that. But just for your guys' knowledge, Claire and I are going to be running a Coach Opportunity call next Wednesday, which is the 12th at 8:30. It'll be through Zoom, and what we're going to do is set up a private event in Facebook, or public event rather, I'm sorry, and we'll share the link in there. So you guys can totally invite people to that if you think that they might be good at coaching or if they've expressed interest at coaching and just want to hear, no obligations, obviously, but if they want to hear more about it, they're just curious, feel free to send them the link or invite people to it from private message or post about it. We're going to keep it super casual and be very honest. If anyone hopped on the call last time, it was just like this. It was just a Zoom call and people were asking us questions and we were talking about our experience. So it's really a great opportunity for them to learn a little bit more about it without feeling like they have to buy something, because I think that's the biggest misconception. So feel free to invite people to that. And then the week after that, we'll be running another coach sneak peek. More details to come on that. We're trying to figure out the best way to run those, whether or not we continue to do it in our challenge group or if we switch up the content. We just want to make sure we're providing value for folks. So more to come. And lastly, so next Saturday is Super Saturday. Not next, this coming Saturday, April 8th. So if you don't already have a ticket, I would strongly encourage you to go out and check out the Beachbody site in your Coach Online office and find a local Super Saturday to go to. If you're in the Boston area and you're listening to this recording, they're sold out in Boston, so try to find one in New Hampshire or Connecticut or Rhode Island. And get there. The experience is so worth it. The reason the Boston one sold out is because Autumn's coming to town, so everyone and their mother wanted to be there. So it'll be a really cool experience, and I'm super excited for a couple of my coaches to go, even though I can't be there myself. So with that said, she's not on the call, but I also wanted to shout out Serafina Caligieri. She has been a coach literally for like a split second, like isn't even done her training and hit Emerald. So like, I don't even know that she knew what she was doing. She just kind of did it. So I just need to shout her out because I know she's going to catch this call. And she's just crushing it so naturally. And she is helping all of the people every single day. And it's amazing to watch. So just wanted to shout her out real quick. But yeah, she's so with that, we can hop into the content. And again, like I mentioned, we just thought this was really timely. It's that time of year where people are trying to get in shape for spring and summer, and it's not easy, and there's temptation everywhere you look. So we thought maybe it would be a good idea to chat a little bit about how to kick off the month early so you're not scraping around for Success Club on April 30th. And with the new challenge pack for $160 for all access, this is seriously such a steal, so we have to take advantage of it. I know for me, my goal is to hit Success Club 10 by the 14th because my month, if any of you follow me on Facebook, is literally ridiculous, so I have no choice but to do it. Like, I have to just lock it in and get it out of the way so that like I can not stop coaching, but like gradually coach for the rest of the month while I pack up my life and move it across the country. So that said, I'm going to pass it to Claire since I've done like so much talking the past 2 weeks, and I feel like you guys are probably so sick of my voice. So I'm going to let her kick off tonight's call.
All right, sorry guys, I've just been messed tonight as well. So wanted to also say shout out to Christine Faulkner, who's also not on the call at the moment, but she just locked in Emerald on Thursday, like literally signed up 2 people on Wednesday. Like literally, I think she sent the enrollments out like after our call, like Tuesday night, and I think they literally just signed up Wednesday. So it was perfect timing because in Beachbody World, Thursday is rank advancement day. That's payday. That's like, Wednesday night at midnight is the end of the Beachbody clock. So anyway, she hit Emerald on Thursday, and it was amazing to watch her hustle. And Brittany is also halfway to Emerald. So I'm so proud of you. Brittany's had a crazy journey coming, she's been a longtime challenger. She's my sorority sister friend for many years. And, from kind of starting to dabble in coaching to kind of taking a step back when life got nuts, and then you're jumping right back into it. Coaching is never on the pace that we want it to be at, but you're here and you're showing up and you're halfway to Emerald, and it's just amazing. So I'm so happy for you. I'm very proud of you. Yes, and I will be going, and for those of you in my area, Brittany and I are going to the DC Super Saturday. I'm very excited this weekend. All right, sorry, I was just moving some things around on here so we can kind of jump into talking about the power of success clubs, and kind of there's a good topic that we talked about from last week with, setting up your month. And it wasn't until Nicole and I kind of started gradually like setting up our month that it started to me to not only think about how I should be posting, because if you're writing down your month, you should be writing down, all of your goals should be written down somewhere, and definitely somewhere where you can see them. But if you're anything like me, I have multiple calendars. I have my wall calendar. I have like my dry erase, like my weekly thing. I don't even have a paper thing over here where Nicole and I basically take our coaching notes and talk about how we map out our month. But why I'm saying that is because it's obviously important to know what's coming up, but if you can know how to post, for instance, that's going to help you with Success Club. And what I mean by that is if you have a challenge group that starts, like, let's just say you have a challenge group starting next week, you would want to be not only posting about it, but you would want to be inviting like crazy this week. This is the week to go balls to the wall. Sorry, excuse my language, but this is I have the same goals as Nicole to hit Success Club 10. No, absolutely, like no questions asked by the 14th. Like Nicole and I have some big, hairy, scary goals, especially with Summit coming. So that's kind of like a non-negotiable, like this has to happen. And it's not saying, oh, I hope I hit Success Club. Oh, I hope I help 3 people. It is like, no, it's non-negotiable. It's happening. That does not mean that we're walking around and shoving Beachbody down people's throats, though. So there's a difference. And I know as a new coach, you can feel like, oh my God, like you're saying all these things that I have to do, and it's scary and it's hard and blah, blah, blah. But Nicole and I kind of want to share some things that have helped change our mindset about it. And it kind of goes back to the idea of sharing this gift and offering this opportunity to others the same way it was offered to you. So I kind of wanted to give that spiel about setting up your month because it's really important, because the more that I've talked to like Rachel Khalil and even Danielle, when you're pushing for a big goal, you might be spitting out higher invite numbers than you typically would. And that's okay. And don't be afraid to do that. For some of our brand new coaches that might be going through coaching, training and things like that, you might have been told to invite maybe about 3 to 5 times a day. And that's kind of like at your minimum. When you're pushing for some big goals, you might want to pump out some higher numbers. And that means sometimes treading into some uncomfortable feelings, it can be scary to think, oh gosh, like, sending this invite to somebody that I don't know super well, maybe I haven't talked to a whole lot, can feel very weird and uncomfortable. But as the longer you're in this business, it's kind of just one of those things, the more you invite, the more comfortable you're going to get. But if you're not inviting and you're not asking people to join you, you're never going to get to Success Club, because guess what, guys? In this business, people don't just walk up to you and say, sign me up. Sure, we can all say that that's happened to us every now and then, once in a blue moon, but that's not how this business works. You know, you can't just put a post up there and say, join my challenge group, because frankly, I forget, there was some statistic, and I forget who said it, some coach, but you know, basically our posts, our social media is like our storefront. A storefront doesn't guarantee business. It's a storefront, right? It's a display. And your store, and you should have a very busy, consistent, pretty storefront. You know, your storefront is you, your storefront is your business. It should be speaking about you. And so I'm saying this in relation to Success Club, because you can't just say, hey, join my challenge group, and expect people are going to come running to you, because if you're not doing the behind the scenes work and talking to individual people, then there, you can have all the posts you want on your page, but it all kind of comes back to the vital behaviors, which is actually, I think that's one of our upcoming calls. We're going to go over the vital behaviors. Were you going to say something, Nicole?
Yeah, I was just going to say, so this kind of goes off on a little bit of a tangent, but I think it will be valuable. Well, at least I hope so. But in terms of, I think we all are guilty of throwing up some posts about our challenge groups coming up. And I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But remember that those aren't your invites. Those are basically an FYI to people. And I'll be completely 100% honest, 90% of the people that are in any of my challenge groups do not come from those posts. It comes from people that I'm having conversations with outside of that. And usually it's people that don't like any of my stuff. They're like creeping in the background. Like people are watching you regardless of whether or not they're liking your statuses or commenting on your statuses or saying, I might be interested. That's like 10%. So don't let that stuff scare you or intimidate you. If you throw something up about a challenge group and no one likes it, don't just throw Success Club out the window and be like, oh, no one's interested in my challenge group. That's not the case. They're just usually afraid to reach out to you because you're so consistent, and they're nervous that they can't be that consistent. So just try to keep that in your mind when you're like reaching out to people, that they're probably seeing what you're doing. And usually I start my conversations with like relationship building, but then I'll say, hey, I don't know if you've seen my post, but blah, 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 blah. And usually they're like, oh yeah, I have seen your post, blah, 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 right? So just try to keep it real.
No, thank you. And honestly, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I think you're so right. I mean, the number, I don't even know if I can count on one hand the number of people that have ever, first of all, I very rarely ever get comments on the posts that I say, talk about joining my next challenge group. I'll get some likes, but they're not the posts that hit it out of the park, to be honest. But just kind of like Nicole said, there's those kinds of posts, we have to do them. We have to do them no matter what, because if we're not talking about our upcoming challenge group, then people aren't going to know about it. And it's kind of like what we call as an exposure. They say that an average person needs 7 exposures before they say yes to something. So, you know, one of those posts is basically like an exposure. But I kind of wanted to bring it back to talking about inviting for a second. I shared some numbers with a few people on my team a little bit last week, and I shared them with Nicole earlier. And I'm going to say this, and please do not be scared. Please don't get overwhelmed. But I want to share with you the power of inviting for a second here. But so last month I tracked my invites and my conversations all in Streak for the very first time, which, by the way, if you know, I'm not knocking pen and paper, but Streak is awesome. I'm actually just looking into Teamzy now. It's a fabulous way to track your numbers, to keep track of your conversations. You can literally see where your girls are at in the conversation, and it's amazing. So because of this, I was able to see that I sent over 300 invites in the month of March, and of those 300, I have over 100 no's. And the no's are just from the people that actually replied to me. I have a lot of people that I have in this like category of invites. I have 270 in my invite column. That means over 270 people ignored me in March. That's how many invites that I sent that nobody responded to. And then I have close to about 30 that I have in conversation that might have been like, yeah, tell me about your challenge group, like, or like where I'm talking about Shakeology or a program, kind of going through that process that we've talked about. And then 100 additional people just flat out said no, or maybe 5 of them said maybe next month, but that number is also very low. I'm saying this to you guys to not be scared, but to realize that of those over like 400 conversations, I helped 3 people sign up last month. Now, granted, I don't like those numbers. I wish they were higher. And don't compare yourself to me either, because let me tell you right now, a coach next to me could, she could send 20 invites and get 3 yeses. I don't know. This Beachbody math does not exist. It's like in Narnia. It's a completely different dimension. But what I'm trying to say is I had to be fearless last month. I had to say in one of my diamond trainings, and excuse my profanity, she said, don't be a bitch, press send. When it comes to your invites, don't be a bitch, press send. Because that person might, they might ignore you. They might tell you no, but guess what? How many of you guys on this call said no and ignored one of us for that long? You need to relate back to who you were before Beachbody and the kind of person that you were and the reservations that you had, because that same person on the receiving end is having that. That doesn't mean that they're judging you. Don't start going into that world. But I'm talking about inviting here because this is a really important part of Success Club, because you have to be fearless. You have to show up and invite every day. And so between now and the 14th, I think once I hit Success Club, maybe I drop my numbers, back down to maybe 5 or 10-ish a day. These are my numbers, okay? Not yours. These are my numbers. I'm just being transparent with you guys. But at the beginning of the month, I was inviting anywhere around 15 to 20 people a day. Again, my numbers are different than Nicole's. They're going to be different from Sam's, Loretta's, Brittany's, Jen's. That was how I was running my business. But it's interesting. I might not be running it the same way exactly this month, but I know I'm going to be sending some higher numbers of invites between now and the 14th. But it's also not just about inviting. I posted this in my team page last week, and I might have shared it with you, Nicole, too, but we talked in one of my trading groups, we talked about the power of the follow-up, or the, what's the saying? It's like the fortune in the follow-up. I've been sending a lot of those lately for the people that when I invited them, they were like, yeah, tell me more. And then I would tell them more, and then they would go quiet. Like, how many people have those kind of conversations going on? I think I saw all heads nod. So Nicole, if you don't have it, I'll make sure I reshare it. But basically, she broke down, like, she's got like 4 scripts that she sends, and she sends them once. She sends each one each week, regardless if they ignore her or not. And it's just this great breakdown of like, hey, like, I wanted to know if you're still interested. Would you like me to save you a spot, kind of deal. And the girls on my team, you guys can see the document that I posted last week. It's a really awesome, like, chill way of just like saying, hey, like, I didn't forget about you. It's not a creepy thing to just follow up. There's no magic like, oh, I need to wait like a week or 2 weeks. I mean, actually, Nicole, you're the one that told me, like, you don't wait more than like a week, like 2 weeks max. And it wasn't until you said that I was like, oh, damn, I'm letting people fall through the cracks here. Because, guys, how many of us get busy? How many of us get busy? We read a message in our phones and we run away. And you have to remember that, we might be the only kinds of people that are glued to our phones as bad as maybe other people. We're running our business on social media. So this is our life. Shouldn't be your life, but it is a big part of our life. So there's not, sometimes you just sending a quick follow-up. And if that gets you a no, it gets you a no. But every time you get a no, you're getting closer to your yes. And it's so important to know that every time you get a no, don't let that hit your heart. This is something I had to tell myself back in February, because you guys know my little Cinderella story. I wish I tracked in Streak. That would have been a phenomenal month had I been tracking in Streak to really know what the F happened, either good or bad that month. But when you're pushing for these big goals, when you're pushing for Success Club, it's really important that every single no that you get, you can't let it, don't let it touch your heart. And I say that because as soon as you let it touch your heart tells your mind, I'm a failure, I'm a mess up, I'm a screw up. Whatever your script is in your head, it starts playing that. And once you're playing that, you're already letting yourself be defeated. And this kind of goes back in the whole thing about mindset and personal development. You can hear Nicole and I talk about this all day, every day. But mindset is so important. And you need to keep your eye on the prize. And so I'm talking about the value of no's, because that no means that your yes is coming. You want to get as many no's as possible. So the fact that I got 100 no's last month, I'm like, okay, sweet. I'm glad they actually even responded. That's pretty awesome that someone actually responded, given I have over close to 300 invites out there with no responses. So, and as soon as you even do get a no, that's your opportunity to be like, okay, cool. I totally understand that it might not be for you or for everyone right now. And then I just breeze it right into just a normal conversation. Keep that, and that kind of goes back to what Nicole was saying with relationship building and going back to forming. Because you never know if that person might turn around to be a yes. I mean, we have Sam on this call here for one. She's just kind of like a fairy tale story of that. So,
I would say too, one of the things that you kind of touched upon a little bit, but Success Club's a goal for us. Outside of Beachbody, no one knows what the heck that means. So what I try to think about when I think about setting Success Club goals, whether it be 5, 10, or beyond, is why. Why am I setting that goal? What does that mean to me? Because I don't care about the bells and whistles that come with Success Club 5 or 10. Sometimes you get apparently this month it's a backpack, which I probably won't use. But I just want to be real with you guys for a second. You're doing this for what reason? Why are you setting these goals? Is it because you want to help people on a journey that you've been on? If that's your reason, then Success Club's going to come without worrying about it. If you set out every single month and say, I'm going to help 3 people because that's equivalent to Success Club 5. I mean, they're literally handing this to us with Shakeology being 2 points now for Home Direct and the All Access being 2 points. It's so achievable. We can all do it, and we can all do it quickly if we keep our minds and our hearts in the right place. And you're not focused on I need to hit this goal. I need to hit this goal. I need to help people, or I have these visions on my vision board that I need to hit. And sometimes those are financial, and that's okay. It's fine to hit Success Club goals because you have a big financial goal that you're looking to achieve. Because in the end, the reason you're looking to achieve that goal and the reason you set out on this journey is to help people get started and help them feel better about themselves, help them stop using their excuses and defaulting on that, help them be healthier individuals from a medical standpoint. So keep that stuff in mind. And if you're only doing it to set a number of 5 and crush that number, then reevaluate your why and check yourself. Because you will find that the second you're in tune with what you've set out to do in this business, you're going to achieve it no matter what. Even if it's, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, 11:45 on March 31st p.m. I literally texted Claire.
I can't believe that. I was at the bar because it was my birthday, and I got your text, and I was like, oh, you pulled me.
Yeah. You will get there, regardless if it's the last day and the last 15 minutes of the month. It will happen if you set your heart in the right place and you do it for the right reasons.
And quick
don't
shout
overcomplicate it.
Did the same thing. Great closer. Yeah. So, but yeah, it comes back to belief. And Nicole, I thank you for saying that too, because I had to shift my mindset to thinking about helping 3 people. Yes, we say Success Club 5, we say Success Club 10, but what makes it easier when I just remind myself, okay, I just need 3 people. 3 people. It's like, I need 5 people. I need 5 people, but whatever your goals are, that's what you do, is you focus on those 5 people. And those no's, that's fine. Take your no. That's okay. I said no for 9 months or 8 months, whatever it was. And the other thing I wanted to say too is, you know, my team and a lot of you guys probably, I've kind of talk about Rachel Khalil all the time, one of my upline mentors. And she forever bleeds Beachbody Blue when she talks about Success Club. If you want to hit those big, hairy, scary goals in your business, I know it's easy to look at Rachel and think she's untouchable and think that there's no way in I will ever have what she has. Well, for one, it starts with Success Club. It starts with the basics, and it starts with helping 3 people every month. And guys, Rachel does not hit Success Club 10 every month. She's not a Kelsey Smith and on the top of the leaderboards every single month. She's actually, she's not even a 5-star diamond. She just hit 4-star, by the way, which says nothing to the income that she earns. But my point is that you can grow a phenomenal business by helping 3 people a month. But it starts with you. It starts with your belief, and it starts with you telling yourself, like, let me just do a quick thing. By a show of hands, how many of you believe, like actually truly believe in your heart, that you can help 3 people this month? Yay. And how many of you believe that our workout programs and shakes can change someone's life? Like, you actually firmly believe in that? Loretta, I saw it, like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, it starts with your belief. If you don't believe that you can help someone, then you won't. And that's where it starts. You guys are all at the perfect place. It starts with you believing that you can, and then utilizing all the resources that we have given you guys and the conversations we've kind of helped to, you know, teach you guys and walk you through to get there. But yeah, I mean, just kind of going back to what Rachel always tells me. She said the best thing to me last week. She sat down with me during my one-on-one with her, which you guys will see, and I apologize I wasn't able to do my one-on-ones with you guys this week, but I'll make sure to catch up with you guys next week. I follow a similar style of one-on-ones that I have with her that I do with you guys, and she broke down, she's like, okay, what are your April goals? And I broke it down, and I wrote it down in my notebook with her, and she's like, okay, between now and, you know, the date that I set for Success Club, she's like, Clara, I want you to focus on nothing but that. And the same thing goes for you guys. That creating content for your challenge group, creating perfect posts, you know, kind of what we call it, the fluff that's outside of your vital behaviors, outside of your power hour. If you are pushing for Success Club, that is all you should be doing, basically, is what she said. And, you know, she kind of had to put that fire under my butt. She did it all in March when I was, you know, still kind of wavering a little bit. And, you know, it's kind of like she just said in her words, she was like, when I'm pushing for Success Club, like, that's all I focus on. And I just, like, go, like, nuts, kind of just like, you have that tunnel vision and say, okay, I can't do anything until I hit Success Club. And that might sound a little like, I don't know if that sounds like, maybe that seems overwhelming to think like, oh my God, I can't do anything else in my life. I'm not saying you can't do anything else in your life. It's like, don't go to bed until your vitals are done. Like, I have this printed on my wall right here. It says, keep calm and win the day. And win the day means I did everything that I was supposed to do. And this is here in my office because it's specific, you know, win the day could be in like all of my to-do list. My to-do list will never be done. But specifically to my business, did I do everything that in my power that I absolutely needed to do? Or did I sit around and watch TV? Was I scrolling Facebook like crazy? Was I adding value to people? Was I giving hope to people? Or was I complaining on Facebook? Was I sharing like those random videos, you know, you just press the share button and things like that? I'm not saying that anyone is guilty of that. I'm just giving examples of people in the network that do stuff like this. And, you know, it starts with your behaviors, and it starts with your commitment to your goal. It's not just saying, I wish, I want. It's saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, guys, and just a tip, like, I've seen, I follow all of you on Facebook. You all have little stars next to your name so that your posts pop up first. And you've all recently shared transformation stories, each and every one of you. I've seen them and I've read every word of them, and they're fantastic. So if you're pushing for Success Club, it's currently April 4th. Go back to those posts that you've done in the past 2 weeks for your transformation and reach out to every single person who liked or commented on those posts because you touched that person in some way, and start up a conversation with them. Hey guys, or reach out to someone and just say, hey, thanks for liking my post. It was really hard for me to put that out there. It was super vulnerable for me. It's completely out of my comfort zone, and I really appreciate you taking a minute to read it and like it or comment on it, whatever the situation is. Let them respond to you. Start up that conversation and say, hey, you know what? I actually have a challenge group running right now. I'm going to be running another one next month. Have you ever considered doing something like this? Start that conversation, start that ball rolling. I guarantee you're going to find someone out of those people that liked and commented on those posts that says yes. They're not going to reach out to you because they're too scared. So that's easy. You already have the people. You have the list. Just start the conversation and don't be scared of it. They might not respond. They might say, hey, yeah, I actually already have a fitness routine. Oh, great. What are you doing? What's your nutrition like? Let's talk about it. If you're part of the fitness community, whether it's with Beachbody or not, we have something in common. So like keep those conversations going and you're naturally going to hit your goals. I'll tell you, I just had someone last week reach out to me who does a kettlebell. She's like an instructor at a local kettlebell studio. She has no interest in being part of Beachbody because she is an instructor. But she was like, hey, I want to drink Shakeology. I probably would have never reached out to her because I was like, girlfriend's doing her own thing. But like she's been following me, so don't ever count anyone out. I should have reached out to her. That was my bad. But I'm just using it as an example of like failing forward and sharing with you guys. Like you can't count people out because you think that they're not interested.
Absolutely. And I'm honestly, some of my hardcore followers and friends in social media are people that have told me no, and that might be they were on their own hardcore fitness journey, but they support and love the crap out of me. And I know who these people are, and it's really awesome to have this kind of relationship that I do with these people. And even they're supporting me with doing my Whole30, and they support and love that I do Beachbody and that they're not into it. It's totally cool. The last thing I want to say, it's kind of alluding a little bit into one of our future topics, and my team, they know that I've shared this a little bit because I'm reflecting on an Instagram post that I did last week, because I shared with you guys if you have the entrepreneur account on Instagram, you can actually track all your insights into all of your posts. It's literally the most amazing thing because it's like your own personal marketing analysis for free. And the reason I'm saying this is because I was able to, I can kind of see, and now granted, social media, Facebook is different than Instagram, but I share with you guys this post of mine that got the most insights, the most, views out of any post that I've posted in a year on Instagram. Now, granted, it got more viewership in Instagram than Facebook because they're just different platforms, but I'm saying this is because one thing that Rachel challenged me to do a while back was to share more of my story. And I've been starting to say this to you guys. I'm starting to talk about becoming more of a storyteller. And I'm saying this in relation to Success Club because when I've been pushing for a big goal, that means I'm bleeding my heart on Facebook. Now, it's not always been an easy thing to do, but I've been starting to really sprinkle it in. I do it maybe not necessarily once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks or so. But you know, and I'm not talking about like I lost like all this weight and look at how great my life has changed. I'm talking like the deep, dark, scary, dark place that you never wanted to post on social media, like me and my mustache hair last week. Like literally, that was my story. I can laugh about it now. I mean, I literally laugh when I tell that story. But that was literally my story last week. And I got so many responses out of that. Now, granted, I'm not saying that didn't give me Success Club the moment that I posted it, but it definitely did in February, back when I started peeling back the layers. So, this is what I said to my team last week. I said, are you a coach, or are you a glorified challenger? Are you a glorified challenger is someone that loves the products. You talk about your shake, you talk about your workouts, and you talked about the meal plan. Are you talking about you? Are you talking about who you are as a coach? Are you talking about how this business has changed your life? I'm not talking about monetary. Absolutely, I don't think any of us are talking about monetary. I'm talking about, are you talking about you? If I went to your page, would I know what your favorite food is? Would I know what you like to do on Saturday night? Would I know who your best friends are? Would I know if you have a dog? Would I know if you have a kid? Would I know if you have a spouse? People want to know the real you. And so it's really important. Yes, we want to talk about Beachbody. Like we definitely need to be consistently talking about health and fitness. But if you're not consistently sharing your story, who you are, then no one's going to relate to you. And if you don't have anyone to relate to you, they're not going to join you. They may want your products, but if they don't relate to you, then they're not going to buy from you, and they're going to buy from somebody else who they relate to. So that's why it's so important to share your story. And you don't need to share it every day. You do need to share you every day. You don't need to bleed your heart every day. If you did that every day, everyone would be like, okay, this is a lot of sap. You know what I mean? You need to kind of find your balance and find your rhythm that works for you. But, I highly recommend you guys going out there, that's what I mean by being bold, being brave, and sharing you. Anything else?
Oh, that was awesome.
It's like literally my favorite thing to do now. It scares me, but I love it because I literally get so emotional by the time I finish posting it, but that's when I know I did a good job. It's hard, but
I was wondering with the Instagram thing, so is that just the story you're talking about, the entrepreneurship thing?
No, it's an account type. So if you go into your settings, I think you can change it from, I forget what it is, but it's not the little bubbles like on Facebook, how you have the little, it's not that.
Okay.
It's an actual account setting. So if you go into your settings, you can change it, and it's completely for free. I absolutely recommend you do it because it's free marketing analysis, basically.
Cool.
So, all right, guys. Well, I think this is about it since we're going to get cut off. Reminder to my team, in place of everyone